my last day of staycation, and the neighbor across the street from me is having a new roof put on, and the neighbor behind me, that house they're flipping it is what happened. So it was purchased a few months back, probably at least 6 months back now, and they're still working on it, but they were just back there running a saw here a minute ago. So I have the sounds of construction all around me from my last day of staycation. Stop by the library and drop off the couple of cookbooks that I had checked out, and then I'm headed back home just to relax and enjoy the rest of my day until this evening. I have to leave at 4:30 to go pick Logan up for the weekend, but I really have no plans to do anything adventurous today. I did a lot during the first part of my week, so yesterday and today I'm just spending with books and drinks and relaxation. And hope that you can hear me because my microphone has disappeared. I think I probably left it up at our family farm. So I am getting ready to make the dishwasher tabs that I mentioned in last vlog. It's a pretty simple recipe, so I'm just going to whip it all together. I'm going to put it in these little trays and let them dry. And that's really all there is to it. I really hope that these dry well because I was supposed to use a cup of the sea salt and I didn't have enough. So I had about 3/4 of a cup, so it might be a little bit too much liquid. So I'm kind of curious to see how these are going to dry, especially since the recipe said you needed to kind of press it down to get the air bubbles out, but this is pretty liquid, so there's really nothing to press down. So fingers crossed that it turns out okay. I really thought I had a cup's worth of salt left and I did not. But I thought I would go ahead and kind of break down the price and why I chose to do this. So this made 28 dishwasher tabs. and the total cost was about $4.50. Now, the previous dishwasher tabs that I bought were just like the Great Value brand ones, and they were $10 for 96 originally, but you know, shrinkflation, now there's only 78 in a package for the same price. So there are 2.7 times as many tabs for double the price in a thing of the Great Value dishwasher tabs compared to these. So it is slightly more expensive to do it this way. However, I'm first of all getting only 4 ingredients that I know specifically what is in it. There are no chemicals added. Secondly, these are not all individually wrapped in that like meltable plastic stuff like the pre-packaged dishwasher tabs are. And then on top of that, they also come in a plastic container that you're using and then either throwing away or in my case, recycling. So this eliminates plastic waste and it eliminates certain chemicals that you don't really necessarily want on your dishes. And it's not that much more expensive to do it. Now, if it was going to cost me significantly more, I probably wouldn't do it, but it's only a little bit higher to do it this way, and I feel better about it. So that is why I did it. From the thing that I read, supposedly they work very well to clean, so we will see. I will update you if they turn out to work like crap. I will definitely let you know, but now I just have to let them dry out. Good morning. See why we have problems with deer in the garden? This is Michael's front yard. Right in the middle of town. Technically he's on the edge of town, but completely unbothered. Nice yawn.
We'll see if that's what happened, a podcast as well. So we're going to do a collab with them.
Yeah, it's not bad. Hi. Guessing $10 for a large loaf and $5 for a small. It's better than the other stand. You don't need jerky, do you? That you'd had? Yeah. Some of Grandpa's?
Well, I'll do that. I need that on.
Yeah. Good morning. I just got back from our coffee and farmers market run, and I am going to put my hair up because we are sitting at about 80% humidity right now. So this is not the day for the hair to be down. So I'm gonna whip it up real quick, and then we have to make a run to Menards so I can pick up some cat food for, well, mainly for Emily. She uses a different kind than the others because she has an allergy to a lot of the wet foods. And then we are going to run to the grocery store and pick up some things for Michael so we can make him some food for the week. And after that, I guess the world is our oyster. We have no other plans for the day, so we'll see what we get up to. But that's what the plan is for now. We'll see if that keeps all the frizz in place. They have the bulk bins back here, and they do have the Durham wheat flour right here. So I have to remember this whenever I'm doing a meal plan soon and make some homemade pasta. And also something else I'm considering. They have wheat berries for $1 a pound, but I would just have to get a grinder because it would be more affordable than buying the bulk organic wheat flour. And I'd also be supporting a local business instead of Amazon. We're headed off for lunch, but I thought I'd show you my little mold that I just picked up. We just left TJ Maxx and my shampoo and conditioner are getting low, so it's time to make the shampoo and conditioner bars probably in the next couple of weeks, but I needed a soap mold in order to do it, so I found some that were rose shaped at TJ Maxx. Plant-based restaurant for lunch. Good. The only vegan restaurant in town. Tiny little spot, but we appreciate having it. And the only reason I don't eat here more often is because so much of their stuff is deep fried and they use healthy oils, but to me there's no such thing as a healthy oil truly. So since I try to stay oil free, I don't come here a super lot, but their sushi bowl is really good. So that's what I ordered. Here's the sushi bowl and the collie wings. Just a heads up for anybody who orders online for Aldi's, because they use Instacart. I was curious, so I came in to check prices because I just picked up an order yesterday, and everything in store is cheaper. So they do the same thing as DoorDash. They do the same thing as a lot of the restaurants. If you order online versus calling them, their prices are higher. So just a heads up, you're better off shopping in the store at Aldi. Hi, Lauren from the future here. I wanted to pop back in and just expand on that last clip. So if you order online from Aldi's already, then you know this, but if you don't, then Aldi does not have their own online grocery orders like Walmart does. They outsource it to Instacart. And so because it's through Instacart, there is first of all a $1.99 pickup fee that they charge. Then they also charge you for the paper bags, because this is one way where they're not as good as Walmart, because with Walmart, there's an option where you can check, I'll bring my own bags. And then I always have a laundry basket in the back of my car and they just put it all in there. Well, I would do the same thing with Aldi rather than getting paper bags, but they don't give me the option. And then on top of that, there's a 10% markup on all of the prices in the store, on top of having a $1.99 pickup fee. In my opinion, do one or the other, but not both, you know? But you know, with Walmart, because their online order is part of the services that they offer in the store, you don't have all of that stuff. So I am still going to continue shopping from Aldi as much as I can, because I am trying very hard not to support any major corporations as far as, you know, buying like name brand products. So whether it's like, I don't know, there was just a ban on Kellogg's, and now we are getting ready to start a ban on Nestle, but any other major companies like that, I try to avoid buying their products. And even the Great Value store brand, usually most of those store brands are still made by the same major companies. So when you buy them, it's still given profit to the same people. And most of the stuff in Aldi's is not made by those same major corporations. So I try to buy as much as possible from Aldi's, even if it is a few cents more expensive, which honestly, ever since COVID, Aldi's prices went up to the point where they are higher on most of their stuff than Walmart, maybe by just like a hair, like a few cents, literally. But before COVID, I bought the bulk of my stuff from Aldi's and just went to Walmart for a few things because it was the reverse. Aldi's was way more affordable, and now Walmart is actually cheaper on most of their stuff than Aldi's is. So I had kind of quit shopping at Aldi's for the most part. There were just a couple of things I still got from there, like my organic coffee beans. They have stayed the same price. They're still $7 or $7.99 a bag, and the cheapest I can find organic coffee beans at Walmart is like $12. So that's like the one thing that I would still go to Aldi's for regularly. But now, since I'm trying to avoid giving my money to those big major brands, I have been shopping at Aldi's more. But I'm not going to continue paying 10% markup, because Michael did the math, and just based on the price, the total price of my last order, if you multiply that by 52 weeks a year, I would be paying an extra $320 in just, 10% markup on price, plus the bag fees, plus the pickup fees. So for no more stuff that I'm buying each week, we're just gonna make that one of our usual Saturday stops, and I'm gonna grab the few items that I need from there and not spend that extra money, because it doesn't take me 20 minutes in the store because I don't need a bunch of stuff. So that is gonna be my solution. I'll continue doing Walmart order pickup. I am going to check Walmart too, just to make sure that they don't have a markup on their prices. As far as I know, they don't, but that is something I still want to look into before I kind of make that concrete decision. But I do also like Walmart's order pickup better for a myriad of reasons. You know, Aldi's, for example, I had them screw up my order once because there was myself and then there was another girl, I guess her name was Laura and I was Lauren, and they don't ask what your name is. So like Walmart, when they come out, they ask what's the name on the order. You tell them your first and last name and then they load it. Well, at Aldi's, they would just come out and say, Lauren? And you say, yes. Well, Lauren and Laura sound so much alike. They went to her car and they said Lauren, and she thought they said Laura. So they loaded all of my groceries into her car. She drove off. They came to load my car and they said Laura. And I was like, no. And they figured out that they had already given my groceries to her and she left with them. So then they had to go reshop my entire order. Like, I've never had that happen with Walmart. There was a situation here just a few weeks ago where I pulled in and went to get my order, but when I tried to check in on the app, it wasn't cooperating for whatever reason. It wasn't letting me check in like I normally do. So I tried calling the number. Well, it goes to corporate and they don't let you call the actual store. So I couldn't call the store. So I tried to do online help and I got the runaround on that too. You couldn't get a hold of anybody. So Michael finally got out and went inside the store to get somebody. And when she did bring the groceries out, she said that there had been kind of a mix up, like something got messed up on my order and she went to replace it. And when she did that, it reset. But I had already checked in to come to the store, so that's why it was messed up. But I've never had something like that happen with Walmart. And if something like that did happen, they have the store phone number right there on the tag outside the store, so you can just call inside and get to the department for online orders and talk to somebody. So as much as I hate to say it, the online order or online grocery pickup experience is 10 times better at Walmart, honestly, than it is with Aldi anyway. But all of that long-winded stuff just to kind of share my experience with you and let you know, in case you didn't know like I didn't know, that you are paying a 10% markup on all the prices to be able to use the convenience of grocery pickup. But on that note, also, here I was thinking that Aldi's prices were a little bit higher than Walmart's, and that's probably not true because I always looked online to compare prices, and the Aldi prices through Instacart were not even accurate. So take that for what you will. Good morning. I just picked up my Walmart grocery order and stopped and got gas. So now I'm gonna hop over to Schnuks and pick up the tapioca flour because Walmart didn't have any. So the only place I can find it is Schnuks here in town. But I have been craving boba tea so much. Like, I got some earlier in the week, Thursday, I think. And then Michael, whenever I talked about it, he started craving it too. So then he wanted to go get some. So then we went back and I got a second boba tea. But anyway, ever since then, I've just been like wanting it nonstop. And rather than going and paying $5 for boba tea constantly, I'm just going to make my own. So I have to make the tapioca pearls, but I need tapioca flour or tapioca starch. It's the same thing. Or cassava flour. It's also known as that because cassava is the actual plant. But anyway, so I'm going to make my own. So we're going to make tapioca pearls and homemade boba tea. I don't know if I'll get around to making it today. It'll probably end up being in my weekday vlog, just because I have some other things I need to get done today, some garden work. It rained yesterday, and it's going to be cooler today, so I need to get some things done outside. And then I think Michael and I are going to go for lunch. So it'll probably be tomorrow. So the start of my next vlog is when I will be making that, but looking forward to it. So I used Instacart to find out if they had tapioca flour here. And on Instacart, this was $5.49. In the store, it's $5.14. It's definitely seeming to be universal. Hi, Mr. Rozzy. That's like his favorite spot. Anyway, I am editing my video, and I feel like this whole thing is just turning into how ordering things online just costs you more money, at least to some degree. I'm not talking like Amazon orders. I'm talking like food orders, grocery orders, things like that. So the convenience of having something delivered to your house or being able to pick it up rather than go in the store and shop for it. But something else that I wanted to bring up is, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but just to expand on it. So restaurants, even if you're not using like DoorDash or anything to have it delivered to your house, if you want to place an order to go pick up, because I have a Japanese restaurant that's not far from me and I really like their sushi. So, you know, I will occasionally order like a veggie roll and a sweet potato roll from them and then just run over and pick it up. Well, I used to order online because I thought it's easier on everybody to not have to call and bother them. It just goes through their system and then they can make my order. And so I always did it that way. Well, Michael and I went in there to eat one time and I was looking at the menu and I was like, these prices are not the same as online. So I pulled up their website and I looked, and absolutely they were more expensive through their online ordering. So now what I do, rather than ordering through their website to go pick up, because remember, this is not delivery. They're not delivering to my house. I'm still going to pick it up. This is just, they charge extra to use their online website in order to place an order as opposed to calling them. So now, anytime I do place an order from them, I just call an order and then I get the in-store menu price. It sounds insane to me. I feel like it is insane, but it's just another way that we are being charged more money without even being aware of it happening. So something else to keep an eye out for. Now, like, I don't know if this applies to like Chinese, because Chinese delivery, at least where I'm at, it's like the big thing and it always has been. So I ought to look and see, because we are actually going to my favorite Chinese restaurant in town. They have buffet on Sunday, so we are going there for lunch. So I should look at their menu and compare that to their online prices too and see if it is the same for them. But I don't know. For me, delivery kind of makes a little bit more sense because they are actually, you know, they need delivery drivers to then deliver it to your house, as opposed to the Japanese restaurant where I'm going and picking it up. So it doesn't cost them any more money to make the stuff or get it to me. So it seems crazy that their prices are higher online to use their online ordering system. But there you have it. So just another thing to keep an eye out for, because if one restaurant's doing it, I'm sure many are. So. So what you just saw me doing was self-pollinating the cucumbers, because I noticed I have several little baby cucumbers starting and a couple of them were already kind of yellowing and shriveling up, which is a sign that they did not get pollinated. And I will say, while I saw quite a few bees and stuff in my yard in the spring, I have really not been seeing very many pollinators. And this was an issue that I've had every year, and it's why I started a pollinator garden. And even with all of the flowers, the herbaceous border, all of this stuff, I'm still just not seeing an influx of pollinators. Aside from the occasional butterfly is about it. Like, all of the bees were here in the spring and then they kind of just disappeared. So a lot of my stuff is just not getting pollinated. Now, things like tomatoes, they're self-pollinating, so they don't need to have this done. But my pumpkins and watermelons and that kind of stuff in the front yard, they definitely do. So I am now going to go and kind of check and see what kind of blooms, because I know I have some starting on those, but I will probably need to do some like hand pollination with that as well. Uh-oh. Well, that's not a good sign. So this is an acorn squash, and it looks like something happened to the stem and it got broken off. So now we're down an acorn squash plant. And this is why I probably should have waited to pull the extras. But we still have this one going, so that's good. But so far it's just a few little buds. And then this one is a pie pumpkin plant. And I am seeing some blooms on it. Nothing really opened up yet though. Now this pie pumpkin plant is really starting to spread quickly. So let's see what we have, because I see some more flowers that are open on this one. So we've got, see, the only thing that I ever see in any of these flowers is ants. I swear on my life. But it's hard to say for sure. I'm gonna have to look up and see how to tell male and female on a pumpkin, because it looks like every single one of these has like a bulb at the bottom, and they can't all be female. So now see the edges of these, how they're yellowing? That is the blight, which is why I've started spraying these as well. And I am gonna go get the copper fungicide and do some spraying here when I'm done basically tending to all of these plants. So I'm gonna go with the tomatoes and the strawberries and pick all the diseased leaves off of those, and then I'm gonna come around with my copper fungicide. I have to mix up another batch, and then I'll come around and spray. So, but anyway, that's the best looking one so far. And then here we have watermelons, and these have been very, very stubborn. They have not grown at all, and then here in the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden, they finally started to do a little bit of something, but up until this point, all they had done is sprout. But then I have these watermelons that are actually vining out. So, and I do see some flowers on those. So I probably will go ahead and, oh look, and see there's even a baby watermelon. And all I can do is hope that that one got pollinated, because the flower obviously is gone, so it's too late now. But I am gonna go put this phone down and, oh look, there's one that still has the flower on it, so I might be able to get in there and make sure it's pollinated. But yeah, so if you ever have any issues with, you see fruit, whether it's like this watermelon plant or the cucumber plant, and they're starting to like brown and shrivel up when they're tiny, that's definitely a sign that they've not been properly pollinated. So, and if you're not sure what's male and female, honestly, just take a little paintbrush like this, dabble in any of the flowers, and just make sure they all hit each other. One way or another, you'll get it taken care of. And while I'm at it, I'm just gonna go ahead and dabble in these blossoms that are open. I don't know if they're male or female, but again, like I said with the watermelon, just hit them all, and we'll make sure we're taken care of one way or the other. So this is the early girl plant. It has some good tomatoes going on it. And then we have the cherry tomato plant, which also has plenty of good tomatoes growing on it. Just waiting for them to start to ripen up. It looks like some of them are just about two size, so not too much longer and we'll have some tomatoes. All right, I feel like I'm chatting to you a lot at the end of this video. So while I was down there spraying copper fungicide, I spotted something on the pumpkin leaves that I was really hoping I wouldn't see, and I hadn't so far. But I've been watching the plants for squash bugs, squash beetles, cucumber beetles, and as I was spraying the copper fungicide, I saw some eggs on the bottom side of one of my pumpkin leaves. So I am now gonna go down there, I'm gonna snip those out. I've got my thing of soapy water to drop them into. And then I'm going to inspect the bottoms of all of the leaves. I'm going to go through everything in the front yard, but I'm also going to hop back to the cucumbers. I look at those all the time because I've seen cucumber beetles so much. But I am going to go and just double check and look underneath of all the leaves, and also the zucchini and summer squash back there, because once squash bugs get started, they lay eggs on the bottom sides of the leaves. And then once those hatch, all the little like nymphs, larvae, whatever the heck they are, end up in the soil, and then the bugs will overwinter in the soil. So once they get started, you can never get rid of them. So I'm going to go inspect all of them, clip everywhere that I find eggs, and then I'm going to go grab my neem oil and take it around and spray everything, because anything that tries to eat the leaves will ingest that neem oil and it will kill them. So and you know, you've probably seen a lot of frustration out of me if you've been watching my gardening videos because of pests and because of blight. And I will tell you here and now, I have been a lifelong gardener. I've been at this house for 7 years. I have gardened at every house I've lived in. And this is the only house, the only yard where I have ever had a problem, ever. I have never had squash bugs or beetles or cucumber beetles or any of that stuff ever in my life. I've never had blight or fungus. I have literally, until I lived in this house, just went to the nursery, bought plants, stuck them in the ground, and they grew, and I harvested stuff, and that was it. This is the first time in my life that I have ever had problems like this. So I think it very much is a, you know, central to where you live kind of a scenario. So this neighborhood, I will probably always have this problem. So take that for what you will, but I'm going to go get rid of all of those eggs, inspect all of the plants, and get some neem oil out. In case you're new to gardening or just have never experienced this, as I hadn't before I lived here, this is what I'm talking about. And I found some more here. So I'm going to snip those little bits out. You can just take like soapy water and wash them off, but I don't want to risk any falling to the ground. I want to make sure I get them all, so I'm going to snip them out of there. This is the only leaf where I can see that I've actually had something eating on it. So if you start to see holes like this, that is definitely a pretty positive sign that you have some sort of a bug or beetle like this. So anyway, gonna go get all of this taken care of. All right, I have looked at every leaf on every plant in the squash or cucumber family, and all I had were those 2 leaves that you saw me clip the eggs off of. So I'm pretty confident that we've caught it early and we don't have any that have hatched. So I'm just gonna continue inspecting these. I've been inspecting the cucumbers multiple times a day because the only things I've been seeing are the little striped cucumber beetles. Now, I had some of the spotted ones earlier in the season, and I got rid of all of those just by pinching. The striped ones are harder to get rid of. First of all, there's more of them right now, but also they fly much faster. Like the little spotted beetles would just sit there like a bunch of idiots, and so you could just reach up and pinch them, no big deal. Well, with the striped ones, they kind of see you coming and fly off, so I miss a lot of them. The best time to get them is early in the morning because they're down inside the flowers and I can just pinch the whole dang flower with it in there before it gets a chance to fly away. But yeah, so far none of the ones in my backyard in the actual garden beds have had any kind of damage from being chewed or any eggs or anything like that. But that's why I inspect them multiple times a day, just because that's where I've been seeing the beetles. But I will definitely be checking the front too every day for probably the rest of the summer. But I'm gonna grab the neem oil, I'm gonna take it up there and spray it. Probably not gonna film that because this is already getting long enough as it is. But I will say that I think a lot of the reason why I had issues with these pests is because of the pollinator problem. because I've never had an issue with pollinators before either, but it seems to be an ongoing thing in this yard. And every year I add more and more pollinator friendly plants and it doesn't seem to matter. They just, for whatever reason, are not showing up. So I don't know if I have neighbors that are spraying, or I just don't know what the problem is. I can't draw a pollinator here to save my life. And if you don't have pollinators, you're probably not going to have the natural predators for these pest bugs, which is probably a lot of the reason why I have them. Even earlier in the season, I was seeing like ladybugs, and I saw an assassin bug. I saw a couple praying mantis, but now I'm seeing none of those things. They have all moved on to wherever, or for whatever reason, I don't know. But yeah, when you don't have natural predators, the pests are going to show up and stay. So if anybody has any idea how I can get some, more, first of all, predator bugs like ladybugs and assassin bugs to my yard, and second of all, pollinators into my yard, please let me know, because I've tried just about everything. I have butterfly bushes, I have phlox, I have this whole herbaceous border that has like Russian sage and yarrow. I have lavender, I have mint and oregano that draws the bees really well, and just none of it's working right now. So, and it never really has in this yard. Don't know what the problem is, but if you have any suggestions, I'm open to hearing them, because I definitely need something that's going to help. I don't know what else I can do. Finally getting my fix.